You know, with an episode title like The Curtain Rises, you'd think that a lot of stuff would happen in this episode. And you know what? You'd be right. A lot of stuff did happen in this episode, so let's go ahead and talk about it, shall we? Wow, this episode was certainly something. Who would have ever thought that after an episode of anime, the only thing I'd be laughed asking myself is, do couples that unalive together stay together? God, that would sound so much cooler if I didn't have to censor myself for YouTube. But yeah, after Akane tells Aqua that she'd help carry out any of his burdens, he tells her that the only reason that he's in the business is to unalive someone. And is she okay with that? And she totally is. Like, no questions asked. She was ready to end somebody for this man. That's a real ride or die right there, ladies and gents. This was a really interesting direction for the story to go in, because while we knew that Akane was slightly unhinged and definitely struggles with her mental health, this was a pivotal moment where we became aware of just how unhinged she truly is. This also then changes the dynamic with her and Kana, as it makes what we saw before as a rivalry between actresses and a shared love interest seems far more serious and adds a new level of danger, though I still feel as though there is a healthy respect that the two have for each other. We see this during this exposition when Akane says she really wants to outshine Kana during the play and that she'll gladly help Aqua with her plan, if he's willing to help her with hers, to which he gladly accepts, which then also changes the dynamic between Aqua and Kana, as he has clearly taken a side here, even if it is just to help out of a sense of obligation due to them being professionally dating and paired up during the play. Though we also get a glimpse that he sees the two girls differently with how much he cares to share with each of them, or in Kana's case, doesn't share. So to be able to help Akane with her performance, Aqua is going to have to try to overcome his past traumas or figure out a way to work through it and use it to his advantage. So they enlist the help of the director from season 1, not the director of the play, and the race to the stage around play is officially on. Immediately following this though, we're finally treated to some more Ruby. Finally. God, it's been so long since we've actually gotten some good screen time with Ruby. And she actually has growth from it. Like, excuse me? Growth from Aqua, Akane, and Ruby? Have I passed on and made it to the magical snake way in the sky? To what do I owe the privilege? Oh boy, I can't wait to go train with King Kai. Wait, shit, wrong anime. Back to reality, I guess. Seriously though, minus the jokes here, I cannot understate just how great this scene was. Doing a bit on how people within the entertainment industry are willing to use their star power and try to pressure someone into doing something they're uncomfortable with against their agency's wishes, or just trying to manipulate people in general, isn't cool. And they do a phenomenal job of pointing that out, while also having good character growth moments out of it as well. Especially with Ruby finally revealing her dark side this episode with Minami, Ruby's pinup model friend from school, was making a joke about Aqua and Akane sneaking off during practice every day to do the deed. It even adds to the weight of it that it was portrayed as a blink and you'll miss it moment. So if you just so happen to miss it, I highly recommend you go back and look for it during the scene where Ruby and Minami visit the rehearsal studio. You will not regret it. It was awesome to be able to see the fact that Ruby has expectations of Aqua though, and that she still remembers and holds close to her what I went through as a young mother. This was the confirmation to the theory developed last week that Ruby has many more thoughts and feelings on the subject that we are privy to. This then also confirms that Aqua is putting far too much pressure on himself to keep everything away from her. She's already there, she still remembers, and it is still a huge part of their life. So now we just have to hope that they are able to share the burden after finally having a conversation about it at some point in the future. Right now, however, it feels like Aqua is rapidly speeding down a very dark path, and Akane is encouraging him to do so, while Ruby and Kana seem to be taking a much lighter but still very serious direction. I wonder if this is going to be a situation of the girl I choose will either save me from myself or end it all with me, or if this will become a little sister saves the day moment. Though I also wouldn't be mad with a crazy siblings unalive everyone plot either. Following that intense scene, we really get to see just how petty and silly the girls are being with one another, with Akane and Kana really going at each other and everything they can think of, from Akane insulting Kana's overconfidence in herself, leading to her downfall from stardom after her childhood actress prodigy days, to Kana ordering an old magazine with an interview of Akane saying that Kana was her whole reason for getting into acting in the first place. It really was something getting to see the two of them having to be physically restrained from one another. Reminds me of a good old-fashioned pull-apart wrestling brawl, minus all the beefy, jacked, half-naked dudes in their underwear beating the shit out of each other. This is also the episode where we finally get to see the incredible transitions from the trailer, where our main cast of characters have the beautiful transformations, where they're walking towards one another and the background changes and they burn away from their normal personas and into their play characters. Currently seeing it on screen, and let me tell you, they are more than doing the manga service right now. As a huge fan of the manga, this is giving me so much life right now. You have no idea. And to wrap everything up in a nice little bow, we get to see the curtain getting ready to open on the first night of the play. We get to see all of the side and background characters leading up to this point, showing up to watch. You have Yoriko and Abiko, Ruby, Mim, the rest of the cast of the dating show Aqua was on, Miyako, and lastly, director Gotanda, who actually gives us a bit of a monologue about how Aqua is truly in a sink or swim moment in his acting career, and how he truly believes that Aqua is going to flourish in this environment. And that's everything for this week's episode of Oshinoko. The Curtain Rises was, without a doubt, an apt title for this week because it literally covered everything leading up to the start of the Tokyo Blade play. Let me tell y'all, with this being my favorite arc of the manga up until recently, I am beyond excited to finally see this animated. Doga Kobo has done an incredible job up to this point, and things are only going to escalate from here. Also, the general story progression this week was incredible, to say the least. With Aqua, Ruby, and Akane all growing as individuals, and Aqua and Akane growing as a pair, there are so many things to leave us on the edge of our seats going into next week. Speaking of next week, Blue and I actually have something really special in store for y'all. We're finally going to be together in person, which means next Thursday we'll actually be recording our thoughts and actions for this episode together. So with that being said, get ready for normal podcast shenanigans to resume as a short-ish YouTube video. Hooray! Anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. We really appreciate it. As always, if you enjoyed this style of video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, do tell us down in the comments below if you enjoyed this week's episode of Oshinoko. And again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.